This is a Google Sites overview as of February 2012. We'll cover the basics of a Google education site as well as some good site design practices. Before we jump right in, remember that planning is key. Make sure you have a plan for your site so you can focus more on site design instead of content. Collect any digital photos, syllabi, poll questions, URLs, assignment attachments, forms, etc., and keep it organized to add it to your site. This will save you a lot of time and you'll be able to focus on learning the Google Sites system. Today we're going to create a simple Google site using a template provided by Google. Our site will build off of a pre-designed template for educational use. First, sign into your Gmail account and click the Google Sites tab in your email. Then select the Create button. Select the template to use for your site. In this example, we'll use the default education template. Note the URL created by Google for your site. It should read https://sites.google.com/a/your-domain/your-site-name. This is the URL that users will use to access your site. Note that the spaces were replaced by dashes. You can't use spaces in a URL. Feel free to browse through Select a Theme to change the color scheme or more options to further define characteristics of your site. Under More Options, list the categories your site will fall under. Your site will be found using these terms when search engines are looking for it. The Share With feature will allow you to specify who will have access to your site. There are a couple of options here. If your students have school-supplied email addresses and you want only them and others with school email addresses to access your site, then choose Everyone at your site location. If you want your site to be accessible to anyone on the internet, this is a commonly used option. Make sure you check the box labeled Also Let Anyone in the World View This Site to make it public. Remember, only the people you specify will be able to make changes to your site, even though anyone can view it. Click Create and your website will appear. Before you start to get intimidated by all of the content in your template, we'll break each section down one by one. As you first navigate through your new site, you'll notice that some of the content is linked with Google Docs. This allows you to modify your content in other parts of the Google ecosystem and have it appear on your website. One of the most important things to remember in web design is to have your data in one place rather than multiple locations that you have to change. You'll also notice that tips have been added to most of the pages to walk you through some of the details of editing your page. Make sure you remove these tips before you publish your site. They are accessible at sites.google.com/site/site-template-info/tips for future reference. Now we'll go over some of the basic parts of this website. On the left side, you'll see a fully customizable and organized menu system that lets your users navigate your site effectively. The general rule for design is to enable your users to use 2 clicks or less to access the content they're looking for. As you can see in this example, the sidebar allows access to any other page in the web page with a single click. The main page or home page on the center and right part of the screen consists of all dynamic content. This helps the website stay informative and useful with all of the new updates front and center for the user to see. In this example, there are 4 sections of posts on the home page which work independently of each other. All of these modules work in the same way and are easy to update. If you're familiar with the traditional edit page method to update pages, it's still there, but only to adjust the size and positioning of the new gadgets that your new site utilizes for content. To update any of these post-based modules, click on the View More link below the content in each module. This will allow you to either edit the contents of the post or create a new one. All of the previous posts will be archived, searchable, and accessible. These modules will also allow users to comment, don't worry, not anonymously, on your posts. The second Google gadget is the list. On this example site, it is used for reading lists and website URLs and is a great way to keep data organized since it works similar to a sortable spreadsheet. Lists can be made with as many columns as you'd like to add and can be categorized. You can add items to the list by clicking Add Item or edit any item on a list by clicking on it. Advanced options can be found by clicking Customize this list. You've probably heard the phrase keep it simple. This certainly applies to website creation as well. If you don't need dynamic content, then don't use it. Notice the About Mrs. Smith section. It is a simple heading and text as this content will not change often and does not need to be updated. The third and last Google gadget that we'll cover in this tutorial is the Google Docs form. Forms are typically used for polls, data collection, and surveys, and are used in this site for a poll question and parent info for the Contact Me section. In this case, forms are extremely useful for collecting data from parents who wish to contact faculty or administration. All of the data submitted is stored in a Google Docs spreadsheet, so you won't have to fumble through old emails anymore looking for older information. It will also allow you to know the reason parents want to communicate, so you can collect and organize information for a more effective response. There are literally hundreds of Google gadgets you can add to your website. Look around and see what you would like to include. Some of the more common ones are Google Calendars, photo albums, class notes, and presentations through Google Presentations. And as you can tell, there are multiple ways to achieve the same goal, so be creative. Thanks for your time, and I hope you have fun creating your Google sites. If you have any feedback or want to request videos on different topics, you can contact me at awellington@archbishopryan.com.